152 million people are expected to be living with dementia by the year 2050. With dementia likely to have a major impact on society, an international organisation is calling for building designers to have this group in mind. A report by Alzheimer's Disease International has found that countries can do a lot more to design spaces so that they're safer and more accessible for those with dementia. For more, we have with us Jason Fu, CEO of the Alzheimer's Disease Association, and Associate Professor Fung Chye, Director of the Centre for Aging Research in the Environment at NUS. Gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for joining us to talk about this issue. Jason, let's begin the conversation with you. Tell us more about this concept that's known as dementia design.
Well, dementia design is a design that is suitable for people living with dementia. It's not something that all of us know about because unless you understand how the condition or how dementia affects a person, then you will understand why this design is important to them. So, for example, dementia actually affects a person's ability to filter stimuli. So for us, for most of us who are normal, we like very colorful things. The more colorful, the more gaudy it is. It looks great to us. For somebody with dementia, that actually becomes quite confusing. That's too much stimulus for them to be able to cope with. The other thing is their ability to differentiate colors. When there are different shades of blue, different shades of red, they can't tell one or the other. So to us, it's maybe very clear, but to them, they just struggle. So in order to allow them to be able to differentiate colors, your color contrast has to be quite stark, like between red and blue or yellow, then they are able to differentiate. The other thing that affects people with dementia is their ability they get disoriented, they're disoriented and they get confused. And little things like having mirrors on the wall actually disorientates them when they see themselves in the mirror. So it's something that you will not know unless you understand the condition.
Yeah, Jason, that does paint a picture of something that a lot of us may not be so familiar with here. But Professor Fung, where does Singapore then rank in terms of dementia design?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I do think we can have a direct comparison with other countries. I think mainly because of the contextual differences. First of all, cultural differences, our multicultural, multiracial kind of condition and the kind of social practices are quite different from some other countries. But the bigger problem is actually in Singapore, we are quite unique. 80% or more of us live in HDB housing, and we are living in a very high-rise, high-density kind of condition. And many of the examples that were published in the book as case studies, they were low-rise kind of solutions and in a very suburban kind of setting. So therefore, Singapore has to develop our own solution, and there cannot be a direct comparison. But having said that, I think there are some areas where Singapore is really comparable to some of the practices, current practices globally. For instance, in terms of safety, I think there's a very high awareness of safety. In terms of the awareness of design and the environment in contributing to people living with dementia, I think many of our seniors kind of facilities are fully aware of that. And also the interest and exploration of different possibilities to improve the well-being of people with dementia. So I think a lot more research needs to be done, and this is the current condition at the moment.
So what I hear you say, Professor Fung, is that it is about sort of problem solving as well, developing solutions to specific problems. And Jason, I want to come back to what you were saying about the fact that it's also based on this ability to filter stimuli, help dementia sufferers to be able to differentiate details. So this report says that it's a simple thing to execute dementia design, but can you give us some specific examples?
Yeah, so, I was talking about stimuli, about gaudy designs. Simple designs work better for people with dementia. For example, if you have a carpet with a lot of black spaces or black designs on the carpet, actually for someone with dementia, they can perceive these black spaces or black areas, patches as holes. So they'll be very fearful to walk on the carpet because they think there are holes in the floor that they fall through. So it's just, keep things simple. So for example, clear flooring, simple design, wallpaper, curtains, with no gaudy designs, that would really help. And then where you want them to differentiate, like for example, if you want them to recognize their bedroom where it is, maybe paint the door a different color or put a poster on it which is clear so that they can tell that, oh, this is my room, instead of walking around looking for it. So these are simple things. And then ideally for a person with dementia, it's good if they can see where they are going. So if you have a very long corridor, it's very hard for them to navigate. They don't know which end of the corridor they're supposed to go to. If they can see the kitchen, they can see the living room, that's clear for them. They can just walk towards there. I would share, it's something like, for even for a normal person, if I put you in an unfamiliar building and you don't know where the toilet is, there are no signs and no landmarks for you, you will be just wandering around. You just don't know where the toilet is or just can't find your way around. So really for a person with dementia, they could be at home. So someone normal, they'll be like, why can't you find the toilet? It's just around the corner, it's at the end of the hallway. But it's just like a normal person in an unfamiliar building, totally with no signs and landmarks, and you are lost. So this is how the person with dementia feels. So these are simple things you can do. Keep the design very simple, no gaudy colors. Where you want differentiation, you paint different colors. Keep the pathways clear, not too much clutter, not too much obstacles, because they have problems navigating, and this clutter and obstacles will just make it more difficult for them.
Thank you both for sharing your knowledge with us this evening. We've been speaking with Associate Professor Fung Chye from NUS and Jason Fu, CEO of the Alzheimer's Disease Association.